we were invited to a wedding. It was friends of the family, and so we all got dressed up and went to the wedding. And I was talking to some of the Christian ladies, and I'm like, "Oh, you're in Western dress. Do you also wear Indian dress?" They're like, "No, as Christians, we can't wear saris. As Christians, we can't wear bangles or earrings." And I was shocked and surprised.
Hello friends, welcome to our first show on YouTube channel of Indus Lens. Today we have a special guest, Jessica, and she is a practicing Christian, but also visited India recently, and she had seen the work of Christian missionaries and which upset her, and she really is not happy by the things that are going on and is working against it. So welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Great.
So, just tell us a little bit about your visit to India and what you came across and what do you feel about it?
Okay, well, India was a really beautiful place and I wanted to see and explore it. And then we got an opportunity to visit Kerala, which is located in the
What do you
south.
mean we who were you
Oh,
visiting them?
me and my friends who were visiting India got the opportunity to visit Kerala, which is located in the south of India.
Hmm.
And so we went to go visit his family in Kerala and we stayed with them. As you drive on the road, you'll see little altar shrine things. Every 500 feet, there's a little Mary encased in a glass or Jesus in a glass. Every 500 feet on the road, you come across these things. And this is even greater than I'd ever seen, even in Spain or Mexico, which are
Which is
really,
a Christian country. It's
we're
a heavily
heavily
Christian
Christian
country.
countries.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was mind-boggling.
Let's start with this. How did you came to know? You told me you went to India to explore it. It
Right.
was never your intention to come across the cultural, like the conversion and those kind of thing, but you happened to come across. So
Oh
what?
yeah.
So how do
Okay,
you got
so
into it?
we were invited to a wedding. It was friends of the family, and so we all got dressed up and went to the wedding. And I was talking to some of the Christian ladies, and I'm like, "Oh, you're in Western dress. Do you also wear Indian dress?" They're like, "No, as Christians, we can't wear saris. As Christians, we can't wear bangles or earrings." And I was shocked and surprised. I mean, even if you become a Christian, I've never been told I can't wear any type of clothing. I can't wear earrings or bangles. I mean, I was told I could wear anything I want to as a Christian,
Mm.
but these people are being told that they can't wear their traditional country dress or any of their jewelry. And, it's like ripping their culture. Okay, you're changing their religion, but it's also ripping their culture away from them and their cultural identity. It was shocking.
So it is. So you're saying it is much more not only conversion, but it is taking them away from the identity, their culture, their
Mhm.
basis. So it's basically that's the reason at Indus Lens we always refer to these things as a cultural genocide.
Right. And so it's not just changing their religion, it's just stripping them of their Indianness. Hey, well, okay, Christianity, as a Christian, you're supposed to be good and you're supposed to set an example. You're supposed to shine the light of God from your good works, and people are supposed to be inspired and they want to become like you. But I was told that some of these people get money, some of these people get food. Take, for instance, the orphanages. They're taking Indian children, but they're teaching them Christ. And so they're teaching that, these kids don't have their families to raise them, and they might come from Hindu families, and but yet they're teaching about Christ, and so they're not even teaching about their culture or their cultural dress or their cultural religions from infancy.
So basically, they are just taking them and converting them without considering who they are, what they do, and also, excuse me. You looked into once you got to know these things, you got looked into more about the missionary
Oh
work,
yeah.
how they are getting funded,
Mhm.
and what all operations they run, and they being. Can you tell us more about it?
Okay, so they also have drug rehab centers. So you have really, well, they set up in these really poor, desperate areas in Punjab. And so these people are really desperate to get off of drugs. And so they do free drug rehab centers. But then underneath the drug rehab, they're like, oh, but if you really want to get off of drugs, you need to convert to Christianity. You need to cross yourself. Okay, so yes, we're supposed to be doing good works. You're supposed to be feeding people, helping people off of drugs, but I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me that you're telling them, oh, if you want to get off of drugs, then you must pray to Christ.
So there are instances when we investigated a couple organizations from here. They are funding like these hospitals. They're funding orphanages. They're funding drug rehab. They're also having this, people with white savior complex going to very vulnerable like neighborhoods, like what we call Adivasis is like they are much more tribal people, and they
Okay,
are trying to say, oh, we are bringing you this, we are bringing you the message of gospel, but basically they're converting them. Even in hospitals, what we came to know, like the nurses are going and converting people who are sick. They say, oh, Jesus treated you and stuff like that. Did you notice anything like that?
well, I mean, as a his, as, I mean, I've studied history and I've heard of things like this before. And basically, they were called rice Christians when they did it in other Asian countries because you basically give someone food and they say, well, if you want this food, then you become Christian. That's not right. I mean, you're just bribing people to become Christian. Are they truly Christian if you're bribing them to do it?
No, and the similar instances came across during the Nepal earthquake a couple of years back, and
What
there is
happened then?
this came to us while we were looking into this organization. There are a couple of organizations based in U.S. who did that. They send their missionaries over there to feed this and take care of these people, but you will get the food or the basic necessities, whatever you need, like clothing and stuff, but you have to accept Jesus for that. So this has been done in Nepal. This has been done in Kerala during floods, and in several other places.
Oh, okay. Take, for instance, the really vulnerable people that want to make a better life for themselves. They've set up language centers, free
Hmm.
English
Right. Hmm.
centers. And
Hmm.
so they're teaching them English, but then underneath that, they're being sneaky and they're teaching them Christianity. So you got people who really want to make themselves have a better life, but then these people are telling them,
Because
oh, but now you have to become Christian because, Christians speak English. But
uh, say you visited India a couple times, you said,
yeah.
and you understand the importance of English. The post colonization is still not gone, so we are so much in India, especially we are so much for English. Like you have a status, you're elite if you speak good
Oh
English and
yeah, you
stuff
can
like
get a
that.
better job.
Better
You
job.
can work for airlines and
So
hotels, and so you'd make a better money for yourself if you can speak English. And so these people are
just taking advantage of
of
the,
the vulnerable people. I
and
mean,
they're
these are really
exploiting the situation basically.
right, basically. Well, and they appear to be doing God's work, but shouldn't you be doing God's work for the sake of goodness and not for sneaky conversion
Well,
or sneak attack? I mean, this feels more like a sneak attack.
you visited Mumbai and you see the Goan Christians over there, and they are the different kind of
Oh yeah, that was strange. Like I was asked by Indian friends, "Oh, Christianity's so cool. You guys are so free." And I was confused because I'm like, "We're free? We're cool?" Because apparently, I guess Christians can go out and do what they want and do whatever they want. And I'm like, "Well, that sounds different than Christianity I know." I mean,
So definitely, like even the convert Christians, when they talk about Christianity, when they try to convert you, they do not tell them the real aspect of Christianity.
oh,
For example, like they would never tell them like getting divorced is not an option in Christianity, especially for a woman. Even
right.
if your marriage is like hell, but you still have to live through it.
Right. They don't teach them necessarily that divorce is a no. They don't teach them that you shouldn't have premarital sex. They don't teach them that you can't have an abortion or you should, it was considered a really big sin to have an abortion. And so they're under the misimpression that Christianity is cool and free flowing and no rules. But that's not necessarily the truth.
Right. They always talk about Hinduism and they attack and try to convert Hindus. We personally believe that certain Hindus are more vulnerable than others because they are not taught about Dharma.
Mm.
They lack understanding in Dharma. And did you notice something that what I'm saying, like I do not visit India that often, but like it's been a while. But like I feel whoever I'm in contact with, they are much more getting westernized and Americanized than
Oh yeah,
than getting connected to the roots about dharma and Indology or civilization or the greatness of dharma
Well,
with.
they seem to be Indians currently are fascinated by American TV, American food, American lifestyle, and so, but it seems like maybe the true connection with their own culture, with their own country, with their own spirituality base.
Mhm,
Maybe there's not enough education from the parents, from the elders.
mhm,
They're not like being necessarily taught
mhm.
all that they need to in order to be strong and proud of their own culture. It's okay to love other cultures. I love other
But taking
cultures.
the right parts of it, because what I see over here, every other people, every other person over here is trying to be a yogi or trying to adapt vegetarianism, trying to be spiritual, meditate. This is all the hardcore basis of dharma. That's Hinduism gave this to the world.
Oh, one funny point was I was wearing my yoga pants in India, and they were like, "What are yoga pants?" I mean, it's a Western concept.
It is. I mean, over here we do not even call yoga the asanas. Like we call them poses, like a tree pose, like a vrikshasana is a
Hmm.
part of yoga. We call them tree poses.
Okay, basically, I think a person should convert if they want to, if they really know what they're converting to, but
But
they
don't
should
you
not
think?
be
No, no,
tricked.
no. But yeah, that's true. But don't you also think? Sorry to interrupt you because
Okay,
I,
no worries.
So don't you think if these people are converting? I personally had talked to converts over there,
Mm.
and there was a lady in my extended family. She got converted.
Hmm.
I didn't even know her. She was my cousin's wife's some relative.
Okay, distant
So
relative.
yeah, so she happened to be there in their house, and she was trying to give them all the gyan about the knowledge about Christianity. This, if you come to Jesus, all your sins would be gone, all your
Hmm.
miseries or pain would be gone. So when I talked to her, give me one reason why did you convert it? They
Mm.
were not able to. So don't you think that the Hindus are more vulnerable because
Oh,
they
I
they
think
they do not know about their basics, and if someone does tell them, okay, just come here, this is better option, but you do not know the option A, so how you can say option B is better?
right. No, I think they're very vulnerable if they don't have full knowledge of their own cultural religious history. They're very vulnerable. But how can you really call yourself a true convert if you don't really understand what you've changed from to what you've changed to? I mean, they're not necessarily really fully understanding true Christianity. And so you can't be bribed or coerced or tricked into converting. Is that true conversion? Are they truly Christians if they don't really understand what?
But do you know, like also in India, the Christians still call recognize certain convert Christians still recognize themselves as a Brahmin Christian and Dalit Christian.
Ah, but there's no such
There
thing.
is no such thing, but they still recognize themselves as they still hold the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe reservation certificates.
Right. Um,
The majority of the things when these missionaries try to convert is talk about caste system, but don't you think there are sects in Christianity and
oh yeah, I mean there are hundreds of different types of Christians, please. I mean there's Protestants, Catholics, born agains, etc. More. There's more than I can name.
and it's as per Christianity, one person belonging to one belief cannot be a member of another church.
Right, you
But
can't
that is
take
not certain thing in Dharma. We do not believe in that concept. The caste part is not even a part of Dharma. What they try to exploit.
right, but you can't even take communion. If you're Catholic and you go to a born again church, you can't take communion. And vice versa. You can't go to a Catholic church and take communion if you're not a
So
Catholic.
all the hoax that has been created, oh, Hindus have caste system. It is not a part of Dharma. But even if we given the current situation, they are not saying they are more divided than Hindus are.
Oh yeah, very divided. And then it's not only that, but you have different stratospheres of culture, not culture, but social economic different levels. I mean,
Mhm.
you have really poor Catholics, really rich Catholics, and they're not all equal and the same.
But also to be a part of a church, you have to pay a certain amount, unlike in dharmic culture or Hinduism.
Well, some churches straight up require you provide them with 25%, 20 to 30% of your
Annual income.
annual income.
So yeah, they never tell that part of it. So
And other churches will just ask you to give what you can. And no, they don't tell you, they're not telling them necessarily about that when you join, you must give them, your income like
hmm
this.
So what is your take on overall of this thing? And you said there are a lot of Christians like yourself in America who are donating, and you used to donate to these churches, and now you stopped. So what is your take on that concept that a lot of people don't even know?
Okay, well, my take is that why are Christians trying to create new Christians when we're not even taking care of the old Christians? You know, the people who already been Christians. Like,
They've
why
been
are
converted
we
already.
right? I mean, we don't care about people once they already are Christians. I mean, we're not taking care of the Mexican children on the border. They're Christian, but yet
Right.
we're not collecting up food and going down to help them.
hmm
We're not sending and doing mission work necessarily in Mexico to try to help these people who are starving, but they're Christian.
They're converted, but that's how they destroy their Aztec Mayan culture and basic identity, and brought whatever the message of gospel. But you understand, Mexico is one of the most violent countries and crime infested. Juarez is being the most dangerous city in the world, the murder capital of the world, even bigger than Afghanistan.
Right, but yet it's a heavily Christian country. I mean, why don't we, yeah, we should take care of people in the world, but why don't we, charity begins at home? Why don't
So
we,
same thing also in Africa. They are converted. They are still missionaries working on conversion, but I barely see anyone going to the Christian areas and helping those Christians.
right? I mean, they're still suffering. So how about like we refocus and take care of the Christians that already exist? Provide them with food, clothing, education, as opposed to trying to create new Christians. How about we take care of the old Christians
hmm
as well? I mean, I don't believe in all of this false conversion because I call it false conversion because they're not necessarily truly understanding what it means to be a Christian. You're coerced and tricked. So how is that conversion? It's more like false conversion. I mean, it's no different than there was this guy that went to a really restricted island in India, and
hmm
they told him not to go to the
Not
island,
to go
and
to the island, yes.
because the natives resisted, outside contact, and he died. But that's because he felt they needed to know the word
Just
of,
because he felt so.
he felt like he needed to convert them, but he didn't even take into account that he could hurt them because he had germs. He had immunity and germs to certain things from the outside world. And
And that area, not even Indian armed forces enter those areas.
right. And so even really heavily Christian friends of mine disagreed that he was just totally foolish. He shouldn't have gone there. It was
But
restricted.
yes, there are other part of Christians that made him martyr.
But he's not a martyr. He was an idiot that went somewhere he shouldn't have gone. He was not supposed to be.
A, he
He was
was
on
not
a
respecting the law of the land
He
where
wasn't
he.
respecting the law. He wasn't respecting the people. He wasn't respecting the fact that his germs could hurt these people.
He was being not considerate at all of everything, but he just wanted to do is the evangelism work. That's what his mind was full of.
He was an intruder in somebody's home.
hmm And there are hundreds and thousands of these people. I mean, I don't want to bring the race back again and again, but yeah, a lot of these there are with all the skin color people, missionaries and stuff, but
Mm.
like there are a lot of these white missionaries who like go into these areas, and the post-colonization mind, Indian mind, is like, so even you as American, when you like go there, you're exotic thing over there, right?
Yeah,
so
no.
so
They,
using that thing, they try to get into these tribal places and convert
well,
people
yeah,
and stuff like that.
these people are fascinated by these foreigners who are nice and speak English. And
hmm
so, they're using their coolness, well, and coercion,
hmm
what be it free English, free food, free clothing,
mm
to convert these people, or from the crib, um, orphans, free care,
hmm
straight out convert them.
hmm
Oh, something else that I saw is that these newly converted Christians will tell you, come to our church, they'll heal your cancer. If you're blind, they'll make you see. If you're crippled, you can walk. And that's a little troubling because what if these people need medical treatment? Yeah, there's miracles, but miracles aren't instantaneous. You can't make someone see or cure their cancer. Miracles are like something made from a whole bunch of people praying for a while, and then something will happen, but it's not
So you're talking
instantaneous.
much more of blessing rather than these people fooling them that they have the power to heal you. They have the healing power, and they are fooling you. You might have seen all these videos online. All of a sudden, there's a Holy Ghost in there, and a crippled person start walking. So they are just fooling people,
I
straight up
there
fooling people.
that that's all my maybe con artists and charlatans are doing this type of stuff, because the only person that they say can truly heal is like God himself. So I don't know. I don't put stock on these people all of a sudden. Oh, it's a miracle. Who knows? Maybe they bribed these people.
We had talked to certain people, and they do pay money to this artist to come and perform. It's almost performing on the stage. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
they'll pray, and all of a sudden they'll start walking, and everyone go
But
hallelujah.
but can I tell you, church is not for performance art. It's supposed to be for praying and such, not acting or performance art. That's not what it's supposed to
But
be about.
that's how they are fooling, and people are falling for it. And it's not only in India, Africa. I mean, even in United States, I've seen these people doing that.
Yeah, they're charlatans trying to make money off of people, trying to like manipulate.
It's sad, but I hope the community, not only non-Christians who are getting attacked, but also the Christians like yourself, should step up and talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
It was nice talking to you,
Oh,
and thank
thank
you for
you.
your time.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
we definitely will continue this on different subjects as and when we get a chance,
Okay.
when you have a time. But this was just an introduction that for just to let people know that we are in contact with people from all walks and parts of life who are might be from a different faith but believe in our in what we are doing. And what do you think about Indus Lens, what we do?
Oh no,
And
I really believe in what you guys are doing, and you're trying to educate and open people's eyes to the reality of the world and what's truly going on.
also, we definitely will talk to you next time about the Hindu phobia that's been peddled, and you did
Okay.
some research in that within the United States, and we're going to talk a lot more about it
Okay.
in our next interview.
Oh, definitely. So
All right, thank you very much.
you're welcome.